Are we live? I think we live. I think we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it in some Evolve, baby. We're gonna get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Hold on. Hold on. They're doing too much. You see that? You see that? Yo, the start to that is epic, bro. Like there's no way you're not telling me that the start to this game, when they show that off, that joint ain't epic. Like there's no way, there's nothing you telling me that's telling me different. Like that's one of the most epic intros to a game, period, bro. Like shit pops off. That's it. That's all you need to know. This shit is popping off, bro. Bro. Let's see if we get a multiplayer. I doubt we can get a multiplayer. Online profile, your online status will not be safe. Yeah. Able to connect the hunt matchmaking server to reestablish connection. We're gonna try. We're gonna try. I know the servers and all that probably don't even exist anymore, but I mean, we're trying to bring this game back to life. You feel me? We're trying to bring this game. We're trying to resuscitate this game. We're gonna play this game until like every now and then, until like Turtle Rock is like, you know what? You got this one dude who keeps streaming this old ass game, and he's getting a following. So I'm gonna need y'all to hold me down. You feel me? I'm gonna need y'all to show your support for this game by watching me stream it and play it and shit like that. Even if I'm the only person talking, if I'm the only person streaming, if I'm the only person playing it, I need y'all's, the fans of Evolve, to support me and get this out to Turtle Rock, to show Turtle Rock like there is a community around this game that wants a mother-loving sequel. We want a sequel. I want a sequel. We want a sequel. We want either Stage 2 on console, or we want an Evolve 2. Because technically, Stage 2 wasn't Evolve 2. It was an expansion. It was like expansion to Evolve. Like they did something different with it, so it wasn't Evolve 2. Can we get an Evolve 2? The reason why I want an Evolve 2 is because when it comes to games getting a sequel, a lot of times the sequel to a game will be way better than the first one. A lot of the times that's the case. Like when you think of most sequels to video games, now video games aren't like movies. You feel me? Like sometimes you get a hit movie and then the sequel be garbage. You feel me? In most cases, that's how it is in movies. But in video games, shit tends to be a little different. You feel me? You look at Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2. Uncharted 2 way better than Uncharted 1. You look at Halo 1 to Halo 2. Halo 1, great game, phenomenal game. Halo 2, knocked it out the park, bro. Halo 2 was amazing. You look at like Gears 1 and Gears 2. Gears 2, granted Gears 3 is probably the best one, but my point is like the sequels were better, you feel me? Just think of most games, unless it's like one of those annual franchises. But even within some of the annual franchises, that's the case where the sequel is better. I mean, just look at like Call of Duty Modern Warfare and then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Like nobody could deny that Modern Warfare 1 was the shit. Like Modern Warfare 1 was amazing. But Modern Warfare 2? Is it better than Modern Warfare 2? I don't know about that one. Like I can't. Like Modern Warfare 2 is one of the greatest Call of Duties of all time. You feel me? And they were able to do that because they got a sequel to an already great game. Now we can probably say, all right, what about games that weren't that good for the first one, but then the sequel knocked it out the park? Because like so far I've just named games that already had a great game and then an even better sequel. Because I mean, obviously that's mostly the case when it comes to these video games. When it comes to video games, most of the time the second one tends to be way better than the first one, because they take what they did wrong with the first one and just improved on it and make it better and make changes and stuff like that. Case in point, Mass Effect to Mass Effect 2. A lot of people say Mass Effect 2 is the better Mass Effect, even though Mass Effect 1 is great. You feel me? So, what game is it that I can say where the first one was completely garbage, but the second one knocks it out the park? You know, I played a lot of video games in my lifetime. I played a lot, and that includes even garbage games, like games I see. That's the thing. It's probably gonna be subjective. It's probably gonna be subjective because there are games where I played a garbage game, and then like I actually just gave the sequel a chance and did like the sequel. I'm just trying to think which games are there, because they exist. They do exist. I promise you. I know for a fact. And if you guys are in the chat and you hearing me struggle with this question I asked myself, feel free to help a brother out. You feel me? Feel free to help a brother out, and you know, put it in the comments below what games you know that the first one was garbage, but the second one was just like amazing, one of the best games ever. So I'm just trying to think, trying to draw back on all my gaming knowledge for all of these years. Like, so far the only things that keep coming to mind are games that already had a pretty good first game, or even a great first game, and then they had the sequel that just like really knocked it out the park. So far that's what's coming to mind right now. But when I can think of a game that I remember being like real garbage and then came out with a sequel that was like, that knocked it out the park, I'm definitely gonna bring it to your attention. Definitely gonna bring it to your attention. I'm trying to think while killing this Mars. So why they always set me up against the Gorgon? I hate fighting the Gorgon. The Gorgon is by far one of the hardest monsters for me, bro. Are they fucking me up, or am I just getting blown up by my own bombs? Fuck. No, get me out. Get me out. There we go, Valve. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Nice. We got the armor. Get out of here. No, get over here, monster. Don't you run from me. He's trying to eat. Got it, got it, got it. Got it. Tear him up. And tear this Gorgon a new one. Don't you run from me, Gorgon. Don't you run. Go take these bullets. Don't you run from me, Gorgon. Don't you run. Don't you run. Don't you run. Get this on. Get this on. Did we kill it? Damn freaking right. You're damn right. Alright, back to the question. Back to the question. I had to focus real quick, but let me try to think. Games that had the first game that was garbage, but a sequel that was better. Damn, I didn't think this question would be as hard as it is. It's so many games that I played that had at least a good first game and then like had a perfect sequel. And then like I named a few of them that comes to mind. Like for example, the Resistance 1 I thought was really good, and then you know the sequels kind of knocked it out the park. You think of games like God of War. No, God of War was just always great. They don't have a bad game in God of War. Jesus Christ. I didn't think this question would be this difficult, because I know they exist. I know, because I'm trying to think of like more obscure games like The Darkness, but I would say both the first one and the second one. If anything, the second one got worse. If anything, trying to think of games like Dishonored, But I mean, that's a game that, like, even though I don't like Dishonored, those are franchises where both the first and the second one were somewhat highly regarded. Trying to think of other games too, maybe Xbox games that I could think of. I mean, when it comes to Xbox games, there's not a lot of sequels in the franchise out of Halo, Gears, and Forza. But you can't think of that. I think of PlayStation franchises. I mean, I was thinking about Gravity Rush, but the first one was pretty regarded fairly well. So that's see, the thing is, a lot of the times when there's a bad game in the first one, they don't usually give it a second chance. But there have been examples where the first one was straight garbage, but the second one knocked it out of the park. I'm trying to think. Maybe if I just think of like just developers, because right now I've just been thinking of like platforms. Maybe if I limit it to maybe developers. So like if you think of like Square Enix, I don't think that'll work for what I'm thinking, because like you think of Final Fantasy, but literally Final Fantasy is the game that, you know, put them on the map. If anything, it wasn't until their later Final Fantasies where it started to go downhill. You think of Kingdom Hearts, and that's not the case. Like Kingdom Hearts was always loved and regarded. It wasn't until maybe the third one that it even though the third one, from my understanding, is still a solid game, it's not as good as the first two. But trying to think, you think of games like Metal Gear Solid, but all of those games are solid. You feel me? In terms of the franchise. You think what games have I played? That's where I need to go, because I know it's probably gonna be some obscure games, some games that I can't even think of. Can I think of fighting games? Oh no, because when you think of like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. Matter of fact, there we go to the tried and true fighting game, Street Fighter. The first Street Fighter game, absolute garbage, absolute shit. Nobody mentions the first Street Fighter game. In fact, you probably didn't even know there was a first Street Fighter game, because the only Street Fighter you hear of is Street Fighter 2. Like, that's how bad the first one is, that nobody even remembers the first Street Fighter game, because the first Street Fighter game was hot ass. It was garbage. It was the worst shit in history. It was worse than shit. All right, it was worse than shit. Well, if you can think of something that's worse than shit, that's what Street Fighter 1 was. You feel me? It was terrible. Like, that's why nobody even talks about the first Street Fighter. Whenever they think of Street Fighter, the first Street Fighter they can mention is Street Fighter 2. Like, if they started playing, like, even if they played the first one, they don't even talk about the first one. They'll say like, yo, Street Fighter 2 was amazing, bro. Like, Street Fighter 2 was the shit. Because nobody liked Street Fighter 1. Street Fighter 1 was garbage. That's a perfect example. And then they came out with the sequel, Street Fighter 2, arguably one of the best fighting games ever. At the time, it was the best fighting game. Was the best fight. Like, Mortal Kombat came out, and Mortal Kombat was a good competitor, but Street Fighter 2 had that fighting game crown, bro. Street Fighter 2 had the crown. Like, nothing was competing with Street Fighter 2. They were just there. They were like the Pepsi to the Coke. Like, they were there taking up the space. You feel me? Like, we acknowledged that they were fighting games, but they wasn't competing. They were on the level of Street Fighter 2, and that wouldn't have happened if Capcom didn't do a sequel. So, like, yeah, Street Fighter 2, perfect example, bro. Perfect example of a game which had a terrible. And like, the crazy thing is, Evolve isn't terrible. Like, this game isn't terrible. It's actually good. Just terrible business planning, but the game's actually pretty good. Whereas Street Fighter had a terrible part 1. Like, Street Fighter 1 is, like I said, god awful. And that got a sequel. And because it was allowed to have a sequel, it revolutionized the fighting game genre. Revolutionized. Like, listen to me now. This fighting game that had a horrible start. Like I said, Street Fighter 1 is god awful. Created a sequel that revolutionized the fighting genre. Matter of fact, it created the fighting genre. It wasn't really a fighting genre until Street Fighter 2. You feel me? And that's the same thing with Evolve. Like, when you think of Evolve, even though Evolve is not the first of its kind, it is the first one that I would say did it like really good. You feel me? It like what really fucked Evolve was like the business aspect of it, with the 2K getting too involved with the day one DLCs and stuff like that. But in terms of like a game like this, like it's the game that did it right. You feel me? What the hell? It's the game that did it right, and it's the game that if it had a sequel could revolutionize this genre. It can do what Street Fighter did for the fighting game for this asymmetrical genre with the 1v4, because you got other games that are doing it and they're improving on it, and people are enjoying it as well. Because you look at like Friday the 13th, you look at Predator Hunting Grounds, and it has its fan base, and it took what Evolve was doing and improved on it a bit, but it doesn't have what's bringing the fans to that particular franchise, those particular franchises, is the name. Friday the 13th, you get to play as Jason motherfucking Voorhees. Predator Hunting Ground, you get to play as the Predator, and that's what's really pushing those particular games. Because to be real, those particular games aren't doing this asymmetrical battle with the monster or with the 4v1 kind of situation better than Evolve. Like Apex, not Apex, the Predator and Friday the 13th is not doing this whole asymmetrical 1v4 scenario better than how Evolve did it. Like, even though Evolve is dead, like I said, it did what it was going for really well. It did what it was going for really well, to the point where its predecessors, Friday the 13th and Predator Hunting Ground, can't even do better. It can't even do better. It's doing good, and it refined some of the aspects that was in this game, but overall, those games are only selling the way they are, or doing as well as the way they are, because of the cachet of having established icons like the Predator and Jason Voorhees. He's an established friend. He's an established horror. These are established icons. You feel me? Damn. No, we gotta win this. Hold on. There we go. Had to win that real quick. But yeah, like when it comes to Predator Hunting Ground and Friday the 13th, yes, they've taken what Evolve did and they kind of refined it and made their tweaks and stuff like that to make it, you know, enjoyable. But those games aren't doing good because they're better than Evolve. They're doing good because of the icons they have attached to those games. Like being able to play as Jason Voorhees, being able to play as the Predator. But when you take the core game mechanics, and yeah, even though they made a few improvements, overall as a package, Evolve is doing it better. Evolve is doing it better. For example, with Predator Hunting Ground, if you're not playing the Predator, playing as the hunters is kind of boring. You feel me? Because there's no diversity in those hunters. Yeah, you can take a hunter that might be able to sprint faster or heal better or slightly and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's the same generic guns you're using, the same generic just missions you're going on and stuff like that. Whereas this, each hunter is unique. Even within the class you're in, even within the assault class, each hunter within the assault class is very unique. You have a class-based system in this as well, whereas you kinda have a class-based system in Predator. I'm not gonna speak so much on Friday the 13th. I never actually really played that game. I've seen gameplay, but I've never played it, so I'm not gonna speak too much about it. But I do know it is an asymmetrical 4v1 kind of game, similar to Evolve. But I never played it. But I did play Predator Hunting Ground, so I'm gonna speak more on that. But for the most part, when you pick a hunter, and yeah, even though you can make minor tweaks, for the most part, it just feels each character you're playing just feels exactly the same. So where if you're playing as a hunter, it gets boring. Whereas the predator, they did the predator justice. From my understanding, you can really tweak the predator to feel very unique. Whereas in this game, you don't really have that option. Like the monsters is going to be the monster. Now you can pick certain move sets to better suit your playstyle with that monster, but for the most part, you can't like completely change the monster, with the exception of just picking a completely different monster. Now in this game, every monster plays completely different. There is no monster that plays like the Kraken. There is no monster that plays like the Gorgon. There is no monster that plays like the Wraith. There is no monster that plays like the Goliath or the Behemoth. Like, these monsters are extremely unique. So in that sense, like, even the Predator allows you to change up the Predator so drastically because it's only the one Predator that you're using. Now, granted, the Predator has a lot of tools that you can use that will allow that allows you to, you know, be very efficient, and they make each Predator feel different. Even though it's the same Predator, they make him feel different for the simple fact that he has so many different tools that you have to pick and choose from. But in this particular game, I mean, granted, it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of the same thing, which I would say is probably even more options you have, because it depends on which monster you play with. If you decide you want to play with the Kraken, that Kraken is going to be very different. Very different. So that's what I mean, like, the support died. Oh shit. So that's why Evolve deserves a part 2. Like, I feel like if Turtle Rock had another shot at this game, if 2K just mind their fucking business, right? Mind their business. Go somewhere. Go count their millions or something, their billions or something like that, and just let Turtle Rock make the game they want, like the complete package too, not no half-ass shit either. I think they can make a sequel that could be like the Street Fighter 2 of this genre. You feel me? Like, it could be the sequel that defines this genre, and even though this will still probably remain as a unique and niche genre, it would be niche in a way that fighting games were niche at the time, where it's niche but it's highly populated with like a ravenous fan base that is just completely dedicated to this particular game. Because like when Street Fighter 2 came out and it basically defined the fighting game genre, the fan base was 100% in it, to where they were having tournaments and stuff like that. People were like researching and figuring out new stuff and things like that. Like, it was insane. Oh shit. I don't know where the monster went. I think I lost him. Oh. Were you fighting him?
Water on Winter Station. Sheer exports a lot of wildlife.
Well, she's worth her weight in gold, the way she zeroed in on the monster like that.
Trying to feast. Yeah, but if Turtle Rock can do a sequel to this game, I feel like they can do, like what I said, what Street Fighter 2 did to the fighting game genre. And they can really take this genre to a whole new level. I really feel that way. I really feel that way. Oh, come on, man. I'm not close enough to use that gun. Because this game, it's a niche genre. And it's a niche with a lot of potential for growth. Your ass over here, Kraken. Nobody released you. take these bullets.
Ready, stand by. Die! Come on, die!
Yeah, there's just certain things they need to fucking get over here. He's trying to feast. Feast on these bullets. Really? Yeah, but you're dead though. You're dead, buddy. You're dead. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're dead. But yeah, but if you feel me, if you understand what I'm coming from with this and wanting a sequel, please leave it in the comments below. Let me know what your ideas are. Maybe remember subscribe for more content, and maybe drop a like or dislike, whatever, it doesn't matter. But definitely subscribe for more content. And just let me know, what is your stance? Like, you think if Turtle Rock had another shot with Evolve 2, could we get the Street Fighter of 4v1s? The Street Fighter 2 of 4v1s if they did that? You feel me? A sequel that will elevate the genre into a ravenous niche player base. You feel me? Because like fighting games, even to this day, is kind of considered niche, even though fighting games aren't really that niche nowadays. I mean, you got Mortal Kombat 11 selling well over 12 million units, and is arguably like the 4th best-selling fighting game of all time within like what, 2 years of its existence. You have Smash Brothers, which is the best-selling fighting game of all time, and that's at like 25 million units in like 3 years or something like that, 2.5, 3 years. So I mean, when you think of fighting games as a niche, you got some fighting games that are up there in sales, you feel me? You got some fighting games that, and I mean, these are like the newest fighting games right now, just knocking those numbers out. And granted, there's a lot of other fighting games that aren't hitting those type of numbers, but they're doing all right for themselves, you feel me? They're doing all right for themselves. You look at Tekken does all right for itself, you feel me? Dragon Ball Fighters has been doing all right for itself. So I mean, the fighting game genre, even though it's still kind of considered niche, it's not as niche as people would lead you to believe. And it started off as being extremely niche, where it was just maybe, you know, a few thousand people that were interested in it. Evolve actually has more than a few thousand people that are interested in this game. The only reason people stop playing this game is because Turtle Rock stopped supporting it. 2K stopped supporting it. They gave up on it. So obviously the fans gave up on it, especially when you consider the fact that, you know, the servers, you can't really get into an online match because the servers don't exist anymore. You look at like the fact that you can't even really buy this game anymore especially on PC. There's no way you can get a hold of it on PC. At least on console, you might be able to get a hold of a physical disc, but even then, like, the game, you can only play single player mode, like how I'm playing right now is solos. That's the only thing you can play because the servers are out. So that's the only reason that this game still don't have, you know, hundreds of people playing it, if not thousands of people playing it. Which, I mean, when you think of how the fighting game genre started, it was probably less than that, you feel me? But a sequel to this game, I feel, can really elevate this genre. You feel it? Think of games like Demon Souls and the Souls series, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, all of that stuff. They had to start somewhere. You feel me? Like the Dark Souls, from my understanding, is Demon Souls, which is like the first one, is really good from my understanding. But you can't tell me a lot of people bought that game. There's no way in hell you can tell me that a lot of people bought that game, because that's not a game that a lot of people would buy at that time. But through just them continuing to make more games in that genre, like the Dark Souls, instead of doing the Demon Souls, they made the Dark Souls and stuff like that. The fan base kept growing. You feel me? The fan base kept growing. The fan base kept growing. The fan base kept elevating. Oh shit. Kept growing, kept elevating. Oh, shit. Yeah, but with the Dark Souls and Demon Souls, with every new game, the fan base kept growing. They kept elevating to the point where now even though it's the Dark Souls like Sekiro and all that stuff is very niche, they're selling very well. If I'm not mistaken, Sekiro sold like 5 million units, which is not bad for a genre that just kind of came out like 12 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, like. Maybe a little longer. I want to say it was maybe 2007 that Demon Souls came out or something like that. So, I mean, it hasn't been around that long. It hasn't even been 15 years yet, you feel me? And yet, it has a fan base. It has a very devoted fan base. And I feel like that can be the same situation with Evolve if Turtle Rock can have a shot at making a second Evolve. But it's up to us. It's up to us to, you know, keep playing this game. Oh, shit, it's getting so far away. One of the things I would like for them to do is improve the mobility of the hunters. Because this right here, like, even though I know where the hunter is, I can't, the monster is, literally can't reach it. I can't get to it. Like, because it's just so much faster than I am. All the way over there. I see you, buddy. I see you. Oh no! See, this thruster thing I wish was better. Allow it to regenerate faster. Even though there are perks that allow that. Look how far the monster got, bro. Like, oh, there you go. Get some. Get some. Going for Val. Look, they even got swimming animations and stuff like that. Come on, Val. Don't go down. Damn it, Val. You was supposed to go down. Fuck, where'd it go? Damn, where'd the monster go? Oh, I went that way. Heal me, Val. Heal me. Heal me. I lost track of it. I don't know where it's at. Why are y'all fighting a Mega Mall?
Man-eating plant, and also woman-eating plant. Unfortunately.
I don't know where it's at. Toss him a bone or something, Tiffany. Toss him a bone. It's probably what he wants. I don't know where he's at. He's not. So my tracker is an idiot. So it's probably over here. He's gonna scare some birds or something. Tracker should have spread these out better.
Maybe I'll be back for that.
It's all right. Nobody panic. This means it's a fair fight.
Get out to a place called Factor. That says I have my.
Oh, I got tracks. I got tracks.
Point is, the whole planet went dark about 2 years ago. No signal, nothing. I have heard of this. Plague, I've heard. Yeah, well, I've heard a lot of creatures. That's the point. One knows. No one's
I think it went that way.
And you're thinking this is that? I don't know, man. You tell me. Hell if I know. Nothing for it but to fight and die. Light it up! See. Mega mouth.
Where did it go?
Sensors in place.
This kind of creature is typical here. I understand why they needed us.
Yes, Cabot recruits us. Recruits every famous
Scared birds all the way over there.
Now we know why. Goliath, look out! Ha! I've got ya! Come on! Who needs a shield?
Come get some.
Snap the leash! Bastard tethered! Attack! Close! Got this area monitored. It's loose!
Get some. Get some.
You're out of range!
Running. We got him on the run.
Can't hide from me, monster. Kill that critter!
Shit, it's getting so much distance.
Sensor is online.
Get the high ground.
Spike set. Sensors in place.
See it. Let me try to cut it off.
Fair fight.
Damn, I was able to armor up that fast. Ain't no place for him to go over there.
Duck hot laser. Connection lost. Shield fuse is running out. Who needs the shield?
Get some.
Hide from me, monster.
Yo, did I get hit?
You're going nowhere. Close. Come on, Grip.
Get some, buddy. No, go up. I see him. I see him.
Technology to the rescue. Put it down.
Oh, you killed the trapper. That's why the no,
Sensor
you
is online.
killed the medic.
Now lost the sensor. Sensor is online. Beast is there.
See if I can cut him off.
Lost the sensor. Spike
See if I can cut it off again. That's why you can't take damage over mobility.
Here's set up. Goliath, look out! Not as sneaky as you think, eh?
Did it double back? I think it doubled back. I can't get
Told
it
you
there.
you couldn't hide from me.
How'd it get all the way over there? Get him up. Get him up. No! Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, even Turtle Rock don't want me to play this game no more. It's a shame. It's a shame. Oh my god. Why? That sucks. That sucks. Yeah, there goes Predator Hunting Ground. But it's the dumbed down version of Evolved, so guess I'm gonna call it a night then, since even Turtle Rock is like, we don't want you playing our game no more. Like, fuck it. But yeah, hashtag make a sequel, Evolve sequel, Evolve2, hashtag all that. Like, share, favorite, all that good stuff.